So, hello everybody, welcome to the morning after show, the morning after the night before. Newcastle United 1, Fulham 1. Where do we start with this one? So, I'll get the positives out of the way first. No more injuries, although Fernandes went off at half time. From what I've heard, he was just fatigued, didn't feel 100%. I don't think he hasn't pulled a muscle or torn anything, so that's a positive. And we got a point we didn't lose when, for all intents and purposes, we should have lost. We're very, very, very lucky to get away with a point there. So, off the back of the game against Leeds in the week, obviously Leeds completely outplayed us. End result 5-2. Didn't have a chance to do a video for that one, so I'm sort of trying to make it for it now. Yeah, Leeds beat us 5-2. We completely outplayed all over the pitch, and he thought, right, we've got a crucial game coming up against Fulham at home. All right, we haven't got a crowd there, but it's a home fixture against a team in the bottom three. Okay, Fulham have improved of late. They grabbed a point against Liverpool. I believe they beat Leicester as well. So you think, yeah, okay, that they're on their up. We can't take this game for granted. No, it's not going to be a guaranteed 3 points. Although I do think, if you look at players individually on paper, we've got a better team, better squad than Fulham. We thought, right, we've got to be careful of them here. But you think, right, this is a crucial match, because we had a 4-game period in the Premier League, or 5 really if you include Aston Villa, but obviously that game was postponed. But I think Villa are comfortably a rung above us at the moment. Palace, West Brom, Leeds and Fulham. So we're looking at the 3 promoted sides, and obviously Crystal Palace, who are probably around our level at the moment. So to get, in reflection, to get 7 points out of 12, it's not the end of the world. The game I was I was wary about was Leeds. I thought we'd have enough for West Brom and Fulham, but I was wary about Leeds. Obviously we got dealt with easily there. But yeah, this game against Fulham was absolutely crucial for a number of reasons. One, we could have got to 20 points before Christmas, which after 13 games, I believe, would have been a massive plus for us, in particularly when you look at who we've got upcoming next, which leads into my second point. We have, not necessarily in this right order, but in the Premier League, we have City, Liverpool and Leicester coming up. Now, realistically, we're not going to get anything from those games. We might be lucky to scrape a draw against Leicester. City don't look the force they have been at the moment, but they're still picking up wins, and they still are a far better team than us. So get the extra 2 points, or the full 3 points against Fulham last night was absolutely crucial. And a common theme, we absolutely bottled it. That game gave me a headache last night at full time. I wasn't angry. I just felt deflated, empty. There was, you could argue that was Steve Bruce's most important game in charge, in my opinion. When you look at the points we needed to get with the 3 fixtures I've already mentioned coming up, with the cup game on Tuesday coming up, and with the manner and the scoreline in the defeat to Leeds. We were beaten comprehensively by Leeds. It was an embarrassing performance. We were beaten up, outplayed, out-tacticked, they just looked so much better than us. And we've got those 3 games I've said about. We've got the cup game against Brentford on Tuesday, which is huge. Quarter-final of the Capital One or Carabao Cup. So I needed to win against Fulham to get those extra points in the bag before this difficult spell, get the boys back on the right track going into the game against Brentford, because you've got to say, I'm not confident against Brentford. That's another story. So, a bit of mitigation. As we know, Newcastle have been hit heavy by COVID-19. Players such as, Isaac Hayden was in bed for 10 days or off for 10 days. He came back in and was fabulous against West Brom. Had to play a full 90 minutes against Leeds. Then he had to come on for the second half last night. But you look at other players like Jamal Lascelles out, Fabian Schär out. I think Yedlin was for a little bit. Alan Saint-Maximin, don't know what's going on there. And also we brought back in Yedlin for his first start, I believe, in the Premier League. Paul Dummett for his first game in however long. Ideally, you would have liked Dummett to have a couple of substitute appearances before coming back to start, a crucial game. But yeah, so what was the main problems? My main concerns were the fact that, okay, Fulham are on a decent bit of form, but they're still below us in the table. They're still a promoted side. They've got a lot of Championship players coming to our place after we've just been dealt with in the manner that we were against Leeds, and we just didn't take the game to them at all. Fulham deserved to win that game. They dominated for the vast majority, 3/4 of the game. 2/3 of the game, they dominated. The first half time was shocking. Their goal, unfortunate own goal. That the header was going wide. Richie couldn't move in time. It hit him in the face and went in. Okay. Other than that, did Fulham have many more chances? They had a couple of pot shots, but they didn't trouble us so much like that. It was we could not get the ball off them. There was no urgency to win the ball. We were being pushed back in possession by a team that doesn't press. And yeah, we just seemed, like I said, considering this was such an important game, and I'm going to repeat this over and over again, it was such an important game, and the fact that we were battered in our last game, you think, come on boys, let's have some sort of fight response. But no, it was just from the first whistle, Fulham just took over. And I was saying because I'm at work at the minute, I was saying to the guys watching it last night, I was like, Fulham are the home team. You'd think Fulham are the home team, and we're the ones in the bottom three struggling. It was shock. It was shite, absolute shite. Players improving. I thought Sean Longstaff looked better than he did against Leeds, which wasn't difficult because against Leeds he was rubbish. His passing still not great. Didn't really create anything. Why he was on free kicks, I don't know. Him and John Joe had one each, but he put himself about. He had a fantastic 50-50 tackle, which he just ploughed through, won the ball. He did that a few times, good tackles, imposed himself, a bit of physicality, which I thought was good, but I still don't think he's that good. If he's the best that we've got problems. Matt Ritchie, all right, the own goal, I'm not going to include that because it's a complete fluke, but I like Matt Ritchie, and people always revert back to his, his passion, his effort, his work rate. Yeah, all of that is there, but he's a good squad player. But if we want to progress, he's not one to be in the starting 11. I'm sorry, but okay, we've got limited options because of injuries, COVID. Obviously, if the Christmas period, Bruce is going to be clever, managing players, etc. But Jesus Christ, Paul Dummett obviously looked short of match sharpness, which is obvious. Miggy did a lot of running, a lot of nice touches, did a lot of turns, but didn't affect anything. Joe Linton, I thought, had one of his better games in terms of holding the ball up. He came deep to get the ball, which I've seen he's got a lot of criticism for. But when you've got Sean Longstaff, who's just not driving forward, John Shelby, who we all say he likes to play forward, likes to pass the ball forward, but he was sitting back and looked lackadaisical. When you've got your two midfielders with no urgency, Joe Linton had to drop back. Do I think he should be starting at the minute? No. I think it should be Gale and Wilson, or the 4-2-3-1, which we want to see, with Sir Maximan Fraser, the two midfielders, and Miggy behind Wilson. But Joe Linton had to come and get the ball because it wasn't being played up to Wilson or himself. Brings me on to the turning point of the game. So yeah, against bottom three side, considering we needed a big response to make a statement, we had to rely on a penalty and a sending off to win the game. I still maintain if Anderson, the defender, didn't get sent off, Fulham would have won that game. Even with Wilson scoring, Fulham would have won that game. Was it a penalty? No. And Wilson's, obviously that's the modern game, he's clever there. Is it right? No, it was soft as shit. and it was outside the box, in my opinion. Was it a red card? I'm not sure. You've got to think about, last man and all that sort of thing. Goal scoring opportunity. So we were very fortunate. But again, that was a product of Fulham dominating the ball and us playing on the counter-attack. And yes, okay, if we were playing Man City or Liverpool or Tottenham, Chelsea, a big team that dominates the ball at home, that's acceptable playing on the counter-attack. But when it's Fulham, and I know perhaps that was the way to beat them, but we're at home, for Christ's sake. We're trying to progress. According to Steve Bruce, we're making progress. No, we're not. Is that really the way to beat it? Let's take the game to teams at home. Let's take the game to them. But no, we were content. There was no urgency. There was no fight, no desire to sort of say to the fans and each other and everyone watching the Leeds games. It annoys me when players go on Twitter and Instagram after defeats and, that wasn't good enough today, we'll be back. And then turn up at St James's Park 4 or 5 days later and produce absolutely nothing. I'm not on about quality here, I'm on about urgency. Like, even when they went down to 10 men, Fulham straight away took the game to us. It was only when we started to wear them down a little bit was a few passes in midfield, but even then it wasn't like come on. There was no pace and sort of rhythm to it. It was just a few passes, pass back, lose the ball. And like for the last sort of 5 or 10 minutes, we were just pissing around on the halfway line. When I saw the linesman put up for 5 minutes, I thought, yes, come on, let's push. But there was nothing. And I've seen a lot of people online have been saying, if the crowd was there, it'd be different. Yes, they would, but surely it should come from those 11 players on the pitch to summon that motivation from within themselves and that urgency from within themselves. Fucking John Joe Sharvey, captain today. I didn't think he was great. He had some wonderful passes like he does, cross field, diagonals, outside of his foot. Brilliant. It looks nice, but didn't amount to anything, did it? Like I said, usually you always pass forward, but he was so pedestrian. Towards the end of the game, when we should have been pushing, every player on that pitch looked like they were happy with 1-1 from Newcastle team. It was just, like 3 minutes left of the 5 minutes added on, centre circle, Fulham drop off, and it's just pass it between the defenders. Hayden out to Yedlin to Sean to Shelvey, back to Hayden, or give it to Clark. It's just there's no, and I bet I couldn't stomach watching the analysis on Sky Sports after, and I couldn't stomach waiting for Steve Bruce, because I haven't seen what he said yet. I'm gonna have a look in a minute, but I bet he said he said, we'll take that, all things considered. But yeah, it's not good enough. Who do I blame? You've got to blame the player. The players have got to take accountability somewhere. We can say Bruce out till the cows come home, and his mates can defend him in the media. I'm sure he's a nice bloke, but he's not, and he's obviously a decent football manager, but he's not the man to take us forward. He's not the man to take Newcastle to the next level. His selections last night were questionable. Starting Dummett was questionable. Did Dummett do anything wrong? Not really. Did he look comfortable? No. All right, you want to give Jamal Lewis a break? I'll just stuck Matt Ritchie in there. Maybe put Jolinton out wide, Miggy on the other side, and have, if you want to go 4-4-2, have Gale and Wilson up top. Maybe use Andy Carroll. Yedlin wasn't bad, to be fair. Substitutions too late. Gale come on too late. I like you brought Ryan Fraser on. That was nice to see. Obviously, he had his hand forced a little bit with having to make a forced substitution for Fernandez. But we'll never know. As Bruce told them to go out there and play on the counter-attack, or to let Fulham have the ball, sit off. Because I was saying to the guys watching it, I was like, if we end up winning this game, it'll be in the media. What are Newcastle fans talking about? It's a smart game plan. Fuck me, this is Fulham we're playing it. Like I said, it's not Liverpool. And no disrespect to Fulham, Fulham deserved to win. No two ways about it. They were superior in every aspect. But come on, we've got to be able to compete at home against these teams, for Christ's sake. And I tell you what, Brentford analysts, manager, whoever would have been watching that game last night, and they'll be like this. We've got a chance here. I can't call it 50-50. It's so Newcastle just to fuck up against Brentford. Just fuck up against Brentford. Next thing you know, we've lost against Leeds. Should have lost against Fulham. We've lost against Brentford. We lost against Liverpool. We lost against City. We lost against Leicester. And I don't want to harp on about the negative all the time, but we have to be considered relegation candidates now. But we're in that conversation. Like, so many people keep saying, "Oh, Newcastle, we won't go down. We won't go down." We're in that conversation now. Not one team in the league will look at us now and think, "Oh yeah, get a draw with St James's." West Brom, Palace will be kicking themselves, thinking, how the fuck did we lose to that? You know, you look at Sheffield United, the teams below us, Sheffield United, Brighton have already spanked us. But every team below us will be thinking, right, Newcastle, straight away they're thinking, got to get 3 points here. Got to get 3 points here. 3 points is a banker. Like a couple of weeks ago when I looked at the fixture list, after Villa was postponed, obviously saw Palace, I was like, Palace away, draw wouldn't be the end of the world. But you look at West Brom, Fulham, I thought, we've got to get 6 points out of 6 there. That's how other teams will look at Newcastle now. Every other team in the league will look at Newcastle like that. So, don't want to say it, the Bruce out thing. I'm not going to harp on about that because it's Christmas and you don't want someone to lose their job at Christmas. But changes need to be made. But the players need to look at take a hard, long look at themselves and think and realise we're not good enough here. There's no good putting tweets out and Instagram pictures. You need to get your heads together and fucking sort it out. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. But Brentford next Tuesday. Going to try and do a video tomorrow. I'm going to try and keep it. I'm just going to look at the cup form. So I'm going to try and keep it positive. Going to do a bit more in-depth analysis on Brentford. See how they've been getting on since the draw was made. And yeah. So see you then. Up the Toon.